Hi everyone, it's me yet again at the Synth and Pedal Expo, Brooklyn, New York, 2025, Tidally Ho, and we're here at Monger Pedals. Is that, am I getting it right?
Yes.
And your name was Dave.
Dave.
Okay, and Dave, I want to know, because I like walking around and talking to the brands that I don't know, because everyone knows what EHX has and stuff, and I want to know what you have. So I see 4 things here.
4 things.
Why don't you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah. So I've got an Overdrive, a Fuzz, an Optical Tremolo, and then a 2-in-1 Fuzz phaser. So the Overdrive IPA is based on the Tube Screamer. It's a little bit different, a little modified, different tone stack, different gain staging. There's an internal clipping switch, so it's silicon or MOSFET. And MOSFETs are kind of like an LED, but not as bright. The Snake Wine Fuzz is based off like a New York City Big Muff.
Okay.
Clean blend is parallel, so the blend and the gain knobs operate completely separately than the fuzz. So you can blend in as much as your pre-Snake Wine Fuzz signal as you want. So it's great for stacking. I usually run it with an overdrive in before it. So you get the parallel drive peeking through, or you know, your bass or your whatever else keyboard you plug in if you want to hear your sound a little bit more instead of getting full muddied up in the big
I mean, I think that blend is really critical on that circuit.
Totally.
It's just to give you some clarity that the original lacks often.
Yeah, and the mid scooping of a Big Muff is also really hard to find in a mix sometimes.
Right.
So you get a little bit more of your guitar signal in it. You get a little more clarity.
100%.
Yeah.
And now, this is your optical tremolo?
Yeah. So it's an amplitude tremolo, so volume tremolo, not harmonic. One single LED running into an LDR, a light dependent resistor. It's got a couple different things that you don't typically see on like a tremolo. It's like a wave shape, the spacing, which is changing like the starting point of the oscillating, and then the smoothing knob rounds off the corners of like the harsh peaks. So in the shape knob does downward sawtooth, upward sawtooth, and triangle. So when you have the shape or the smooth knob all the way to the right, we're rounding off the points a little bit.
So you're starting to get a little more towards the sine wave a bit?
A little bit, yeah. You can get a sine wave, you can get a square wave, kinda. It's not specifically designed to get either of those perfectly because it's all analog. It's all, you know, just me modifying an LFO. But yeah, it rounds off the harsh peaks that you sometimes get with those kind of like waveforms, and especially at certain volumes.
Well, I have to say, on a tremolo, I love different sawtooths. I love that sort of like push you can get.
Yep.
It just has sort of like a sense of urgency or something to the sound, you know? Really great. Now, I want to know about this double pedal here and your gold foot switches. That's a nice little touch. So you said this is a fuzz and phaser in one?
Fuzz and a phaser. The gold foot switches are not on the actual pedal that I sell.
All right, so ignore what I said.
It is really nice, but for me to get multiple foot switches to have in stock, it just kind of became a headache, and I was like, silver. But yeah, so the little guy, this just came out last month. It's a 2-in-1, the op-amp style fuzz, not based on really anything specific. More in the line of like how an overdrive operates, but it's just packed full of gain. It ends up sounding more like that lo-fi. You get a lot of clarity with your guitar signal. It works really well into the phaser. So the fuzz goes into the phaser. You have send and return, so you can put the fuzz at the start of your chain and then go back to the phaser at the end. And the phaser is a single OTA, so it's a 4-stage. So it's kind of like an MXR Phase 90. So 90 degree.
Classic,
90 degree phase shifting. Same kind of LFO that I use in the Boiling Honey. Wave shaping. So downward sawtooth triangle, upward sawtooth. And another thing that you don't really typically find on a phaser that I've seen, the range knob. So range, it determines the frequency spectrum that you're phasing in.
Right, like
so,
you see that on the old Morley foot phaser.
Yep.
I think there were the Pigtronics. What was their envelope phaser has something sort of similar like that. Yeah.
Very rare, but also like
super useful, but not commonly used. Yeah.
And I don't know why people don't use it more.
Because they're not as smart as you. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. So Yeah, it ends up being like if you're running a bass into it, it'll sound really great because you can get those lower frequencies phasing. Or if you want to crank it all the way to the high gain, add the regen of your guitar signal in, and it turns into a complete noise machine.
Right.
And it's really cool. And it's just like a fuzz and a phaser are like the most classic combo ever. And why not put them together?
I love that.
Yeah.
So, and you got the send and return.
Yes.
I know you were talking about this, and I know it's noisy in here, so maybe my brain didn't process that. Are we going fuzz, then the effects loop, and then the return, and then the phaser?
So they're completely. When you don't have send and return connected, it just goes into fuzz and then straight to the phaser. So I don't have it so you can switch the order. It's just one to the other.
And I think that order is fine and sensible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most people that's how they would run it. So that's why I did it. The send and return is just like because some people don't like having a fuzz at the end of their chain, or they don't want their phaser at the start of their chain. So you can start your fuzz, people put their fuzz earlier or in the middle, and then you can route back, do whatever weird combinations you want, and then come back into the phaser.
Super cool. I like that.
No,
I like that a lot.
there.
Yeah, super cool pedals are down there. Yeah. Well, all right, so why I can't get the name right, but Monger.
Monger.
Monger. Oh, like cheesemonger. You're a pedal monger.
Yeah, I'm also a cheesemonger.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
So the name.
You got to do some cheese versions, like a cheese theme,
Eventually.
like a Swiss cheese, I don't know, vibrato or something, you know?
Maybe.
That's a nice sweep.
Yeah, it's got a nice little like mid hump in that active tone stack.
But you'll cut in the mix on this.
Yeah, really's got some punch to it for sure. There's a switch inside because I don't like switches, as you can tell. So inside there's a switch. You can switch from silicon clipping to MOSFET, which I think I said earlier. I don't remember. But yeah, so a very, very minor difference. You get a little bit brighter of a tone on a MOSFET. Think of it like a LED. But it's like a set it, forget it. It's on silicon right now, so it's like your classic asymmetrical clipping. Yeah, it does the tube screamer thing, but I think the tube screamer thing, it does a little bit better.
I never know what to play here. It's just like noodling. All right, so now this is your fuzz.
Yeah. So we have all the way to the left here, you have full clean signal. This is completely parallel to the fuzz circuit.
Oh, nice.
So this is just adding a little bit of oomph to your signal. It's not a lot, but it's just enough to like add it still can get lost if you dial it in a certain way, but you know, some people really want the fuzz, some people really want the blend. So yeah, a 50-50 is about here because I'm using an audio taper. Does the Muff thing, but it does something else that the Muff doesn't do. So yeah, it's great.
That's great.
Yeah, so Optical Tremolo. This one can get really weird. It's one that I find that I just sit down and like tinker with a lot of the times. There's a lot of really great set it and forget it settings that are like really usable, but
How much boost is on here?
a good amount. Yeah, so like yeah. So it's like a preamp stage at the end, but it's not a preamp because it's post. It's just an amp stage. So it should probably be called gain instead of volume, but you know, whatever. So you got triangle right there.
Now the space, how would you describe this again? It was...
So
Oh,
way the LFO works is we're taking our voltage reference, which is 4.5 volts, and then dividing that by 2. So it starts at 2.5 volts. Really, you can think of it like 5 volts to 2.5.
Yeah,
So
it's sort of adjusting the bias, I guess? Or?
Exactly. So what that does is changes.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, that changes like the height of how much of the waveform is being affected. So 2.5 volts is the full the full range, and then it gets so there's more and more and more and more room in between.
Right.
And it, you can balance that out with the volume. Yeah. Yeah.
It's real choppy there.
Yeah. So it can be like a pseudo square wave.
That's great.
Yeah, and then smoothing is very subtle, but it takes that like high peak off of. Very, very, very subtle, but there's definitely a use case.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's becoming one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that would be great in the effects loop of an amp that doesn't have tremolo.
Totally. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So the phaser gets really weird. The regen and the range, when combined, can turn into a full noise pedal. So yeah, let's start with like,
Great, man.
hell yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Thank you.
I'm gonna, don't tell anyone else, these are some of the best ones.
Hell, I appreciate that.
Like, yeah, really nice.